What is good, y'all? Nick Murray, The Game of Numbers. This book was written in 2010. It's for financial advisors looking to start their career. I'm not no financial advisor, but I'm trying to start some career at some point, so I'm looking to, so yeah, I might as well. I just randomly found this book at where I be staying, so yeah, it's been very interesting so far. It's quite in depth about behavior, belief, and I've read part 1 and 2 so far, so we're just going into part 1 today. And yeah, you cannot fail to achieve these levels of success if you don't stop prospecting until you get there. And continuously in the book, Nick Murray refers to the fact that if you never stop trying to do something, you've never stopped going towards success, it's inevitable that you'll reach it. And this is highlighted frequently, and this is actually one of the first things that really caught my attention when reading the book, is just the direct correlation of doing to success, and understanding that is in fact a game of numbers. If you hear no a certain amount of times, eventually you will hear yes, because it is inevitable. As well as the fact that you are guaranteed to fail to achieve them if you do stop prospecting before you get there. Like we just said, it's inevitable that you do succeed if you continue to go to your goal until you get there. But it's also, I don't know what that was, guaranteed to fail if you do not do that. Jeez. This is not a how-to book, it's a how to not stop book. Or if you prefer, it's not about prospecting, it's about the fear of prospecting and how to defeat the fear. So for me, this is continuously a how to not stop book, because it goes into depth about our behavior and how we can craft our behavior based on our beliefs, and this therefore changes our mindset without us even really processing it, because it just is. That's just how we act now, because that's our belief system. It's to make a game out of it, hence the title of this book. That was the introduction. Now we get into part 1, belief. Belief drives behavior. The way that we act on a daily basis is based on our beliefs. What is our belief system? What do we believe in morally? What do we believe in physically? What do we believe in tangibly? What do we want? And so when we understand our belief system, when we move with a certain belief system that is set, and not trying to continue getting out of it, trying to just go with the fads, go with the wind, then that's how we really gain results. It doesn't necessarily even matter what your belief system is. It just matters that you have one and that you stick to it. Because like later in the book, he goes into, I think this is actually in part 2 a little bit, but if you were prospecting, there's 6 ways to prospect, or 6 like general ways, and he continually says like it does not matter which way you do it, it just matters that you find one that you really like and you do that. So if we just apply this to all of our lives, we can do that with anything. It doesn't matter your diet or how you work out, it just matters that you're doing it continually, day by day. Prospecting is that sweat equity. So if we're doing anything, it's sweat equity. Like, we know that that's going to be what it takes, and so be it. An entrepreneur, it is said, is someone who works 13 hours a day for himself, so he doesn't have to work 8 hours a day for someone else. You're an entrepreneur building a business by prospecting. So in this case, if you're a prospector, you're building a business regardless. And so if 13 hours a day, would you rather, let us know, would you rather work 13 hours a day for yourself or 8 hours a day for someone else? Because what is that freedom value to you? What is that value to you? But here's the transcendent truth, which is seated at the heart of the miraculous opportunity that you and I have been given. You cannot fail. This is the advantage you have over every other entrepreneur who ever lived or ever will. I say again, you cannot fail as long as you keep prospecting, because there's always going to be opportunities. There's always going to be doors that open as long as you keep within your path, as long as you keep on that definition of your morals, your values. As long as you stay with that, stay within yourself, stay true to yourself, stay honest with yourself, you cannot fail. You will not fail because you'll keep going. Failure in our profession can only come from a loss of faith. My dictionary defines faith as a belief that does not rest on logical proof or material evidence. But in reality, does belief, is that logical, do not rest on logical proof or material evidence? I feel like that's not the case, because we see that through our lives with the ways that the universe opens doors for us. So we can just appreciate that and understand that and really trust that and believe in that there's something greater than ourselves, something that we owe credit to, something that we should be thanking every single day when we wake up and it's beautiful like it is today. I beat back avoidance for another day. I kept the faith. Avoidance is another term that is extremely popular in this book, which is actually, I've never heard it used as such, but it does end up making a lot of sense. Like if we're always trying to avoid something, that's us avoiding the real work. That's us avoiding is real, what success looks like, and actually aiming for it every day. It is perfectly okay to feel fear. It is never okay to give into the fear, to do what the fear is telling you to do. It's never okay. Never give up, because that's what fear wants you to do. It wants you to give up. It wants to be able to shut its jaws on you and send you down and stop you from doing what your path is. But in reality, you should never allow that to happen. Today surely is the present, but it isn't a gift we can receive from anybody else. We have to give it to ourselves. Daily, we have to make the solutions. We have to make the gains. We have to make the concrete decision. I'm gonna wake up today and I'm going to get my daily deposits in regardless. I'm not gonna let some random at the coffee shop mess with me. I'm not gonna let somebody at the red light that took the red light and get me upset. As long as I'm safe and I'm healthy, I can be just extremely thankful. Even if you're not extremely healthy, extremely safe, you're alive, just continue to try to get out of that situation, try to continue to fight for that. I am the problem, I am the solution. That's ultimate, because that takes away it started with, if I can own the problem, I can own the solution. And that's great. But why if? I can own the problem, I can own the solution. But why can? I own the problem, I own the solution. And then finally, I am the problem, I am the solution. Like, wow, I am the problem, I am the solution though. Like everything is in here, it's all within us, it's all within me. That's just like such a profound statement. Like, Coach Bob Knight said, you play basketball against yourself. Your opponent is your own potential. If you don't stop prospecting, you surely will. But you'll have to get honest with yourself, and you'll have to take personal responsibility for the outcome. We continue to have to do that. Like, take responsibility, say, okay, I understand where it is at. But note that I said responsibility. I most particularly did not say blame. Don't blame yourself for why things happened, but take responsibility for them. There's a difference of beating yourself up and like, oh my gosh, I'm a dumbass, I'm so dumb, I gotta da-da-da, versus, okay, I see where I went wrong, how can I improve from here? There's a big difference in our mind. We don't even realize it, but like, it senses how we react to things. And like, shoot, I know I struggle with this. Like, when I be hooping, like, if I get mad, like, I'm gonna be mad at myself. That's the thing. I'm gonna be mad at myself. I'm gonna take responsibility for myself, though. So if I can just continue to do that and just harness that, then this is GG's. I'm not gonna lie. But anyways, it also speaks about how when we're new into like a business or an industry, oftentimes people can try to judge us, or we can try to make us prove ourselves. But in reality, we should be making them prove themselves. Like, you got to show me, because we should be so confident in ourselves. We should already know how we get down. If you really about your business, you already know how you get down wherever you at. So we should really be making them prove themselves to us, regardless of the situation, because we already know how we get down. It's very simple. We gonna get to it regardless. So yeah, just coming with that confidence that, nah, you gotta show me. I could be in your crib. You still gotta show me, because I'm true to it. I know how I get down regardless. There's a very human tendency when you're just starting out to want to be whatever the prospect wants you to be, to voluntarily and even eagerly assume the role he wants you to play. That's whack though. Like, you do not want to be, because then that's how you get put in a box. And you don't want to be in other people's boxes, because you want to create your own box. You want to be in your own lane. So it says you have to be who you are. Like, is it like you have to be? You have to be. The chainmail under your armor will be your identity, a genuine sense of who you are or are determined to be as a professional and as a person. And that armor itself will be your professional belief system, your sense of what top quality, and then I said, insert whatever it is into your life, of what top quality blank is, and how you are uniquely suited to render it, even if perhaps, particularly if you're just starting out. So at the end of the day, you could still fill a void. There's always going to be things that people need. If you are able to be confident and be ready for the moment when it's needed for you to step up, then that's always going to happen. It's eventually you're going to get the opportunity, because other people are not doing this. Other people aren't having this mindset. Other people are asleep. So they ain't even like realizing, like, oh, I'm at the precipice of something fantastic, of something great. And if we can just recognize this, because we're present in the moment daily, all the time, then it's green. It's green. I'm not gonna lie. Weren't there a few great lessons amid the drudgery? Wasn't the drudgery itself a great lesson in its way? Like, if we go through some crazy stuff, that's beautiful, because we made it out that drudgery. And wasn't that such a good lesson? Didn't we learn so much from this about how we react, about how we want to react, about how others react? Because at the end of the day, we all gonna face adversity. So how do we take a step back and look at that and be, okay, that was a productive time for me. That was a real good. I value that. Even if it took you off your path for a minute, be like, I needed that, actually. Thank you. Like, thank you. Because it's going to be so much greater. The story's going to be so much greater. They're all links in the chain mail. They're all elements of the essential wisdom and goodness your authentic self brings to this profession is going to show the world. The world's going to see you, but they ain't going to see your armor under your body, your internal armor. But that's what makes you special. That's what's going to make you special, because you dealt with adversity. So you have this chip on your shoulder, this extra layer of armor. And that's where the difference comes in. That's how you become a real dog. That's how you become somebody that really like hustles and really wants it more than your peers in anything. Like, this, I guarantee you, this is how stock traders, I was watching a video, one of this dude that was a stock trader, and he was like the best in the world, but he came from like nothing. But that's why his armor was so much stronger. So it's these challenges that we face actually craft us and make us who we are. And we must like not come to appreciate them, because it'd be tragic, but like come to accept them and really value them and take them with us around, but not in a bad way, not weighing us down, but in almost lifting us up, making us stronger. Relax. You know more than you think you do. It's all there. Like, especially the age of information that we're in, like, it's all there. We know the information, especially if you pass these qualifying tests. Like, if you're about to become whatever, a financial advisor, you've probably passed these tests. You know more than the general population. And this is anybody with their profession, with their craft. You know more than your customers. You know more than 95 or the general population. So just understanding this and realizing this and continuing to be faithful in this and present in this. But not through me and not through you. Show me the business you won't stoop to do, and I'll only tell you who you are, but I'll tell you how fast you're going to get to the top of this profession. Are you willing to say no to bad business? Are you willing to say no to things that you know aren't going to further you in your way, that in the nature that you want? That's not a fad. That's not something that's quick money. That's something that's long, that has longevity to it. Your advice is already worth more, and perhaps far more than you will be asking people to pay for it. If we're just starting out, like, we gotta trust that we know what we're talking about, and trust that, and also be okay with the fact that people may not know your value yet, but that's why you have to build over time. That's why you have to make sure that you're working within your nature so people can trust you, can build relationships over time. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Just remembering to stay even, stay calm, make sure that we're within our nature all the time, to not be following the trends, not be following the fads, just to make sure that we stay within ourselves. It is impossible to fail to achieve this objective if you do not keep prospecting for these kinds of relationships. The essence of all long-term relationships is trust. Anything and everything else is only a means to the end of achieving implicit mutual trust. If you find that something isn't, leave it out. And people, like, if you have an issue with this, oftentimes, like, not doing things or not talking to certain people in their relationships, which is crazy to think about. Like, people really deal with that, but that's just the day we're in. And so if you don't understand that, like, if it's not good for it's not building trust, why is it even in a relationship that you were genuinely wanting? Hey, I don't know though. I don't know nothing. I'm just reading the book. I'm just reading the book. You will never find a prospect who is planning to fail. You will find thousands throughout your career who are failing to plan. Are you ready for that? If you really in the moment, are you ready to fail? You're ready to fail, but are you planned? If something does go wrong, are you planning? Or are you just thinking everything's gonna go good? And then you get to the point where it's like, oh, now I gotta think about 30 years where I'm not trying to work. Oh, and I just didn't plan for that. But no, it's like, we gotta make sure we plan. We gotta make sure that we're holding ourselves accountable, because our future selves depend on the current actions that we make every day. The dominant determinant of lifetime investment outcomes is not the investment performance, but investor behavior. Behavior is everything. How we are with our money, how we are with our bodies, how we are with the people around us is everything. That will determine on the basis of stability we'll have later in our lives. Isn't your job to know the answers to all the questions? It's your job to know, and that there's always an excellent answer, and for whom to get it, that's an entirely different set of skills. When people ask questions, this was just pertaining to the financial advising, but if someone asks a question, you should always have an answer, because you should be so inept in your craft that you could answer, or you can find somebody to answer. You don't always have to have all the knowledge, but it's great to have other people to know, and that's why you need relationships throughout your career. You are inevitably going to pass the test. You are inevitably going to have the career you're dreaming of, because you're never going to stop prospecting until you do. Build your life by never stopping until the task is done. suffice it to say that I hadn't had the wit or even the internal compass spontaneously to generate those riposes, because I didn't have the belief system. And that's just not following the fads, but plan to survive in conditions with a strong foundation all the time. Belief dictates power. What we truly believe will begin to show through behavior. If we really have the want or the drive to be a professional in our career, then will our behavior in the smallest manners dictate that? Will our habits daily when we wake up dictate that? Will we be living and breathing that throughout our lives? But man, that was part 1 of The Game of Numbers by Nick Murray. So I appreciate y'all so much for kicking it with me on this Friday morning. About to go get my daily deposits in. And yeah, I appreciate y'all so much, man. This has been fun. We gonna keep doing the book reviews. I haven't really honestly seen anybody up in this lane like that, so I mean, hopefully y'all mess with me. I don't know. I mean, shoot, at the end of the day, this has been really beneficial for me. I really actually have enjoyed this. It's given me almost like a double reason to read, because I read it originally just off camera, and then I come back on and I film the shorts, or I even get lucky enough to sometimes get to do these in the mornings, these long form videos. I've only done the one meditations one, but that was really fun. I enjoyed that, so continue to do those. That one was like 50 minutes, so that was the whole book. I'm not doing that. I don't think I'll do that no more. That's why I'm gonna try to keep this one's 22 minutes so far, so yeah. But I appreciate y'all so much. Like, comment, subscribe, but peep the shorts for daily deposits of my book reviews. I'll try to get like 2 or 3 shorts up a day if I can, just pre-workout, post-workout, and then in the evening sometime. But man, I appreciate y'all so much. Yeah, we out of here. Simple. Bow.